This is Kimberly Leonard, back at home after recording one episode of the Sky News Daily.
We had a really interesting discussion about the BBC's response to the claims about one of its biggest presenters. That is still there in the feed to listen to. This emergency episode acts as an addition to that because just after we finished, some new significant details about this story emerged. I'll tell you what they are, and then we've got a guest ready to go through them. So the BBC has reported a statement from the lawyer representing the young person involved in this, and it says their mother's claims are, quote, rubbish, and the story was, quote, totally wrong. The letter adds nothing inappropriate or unlawful has taken place. The Sun has responded saying, we've seen evidence to support the concerns of two parents. It's now for the BBC to properly investigate. Well, with me now is the media lawyer, Matthew Gill. Thanks so much for coming on at such short notice. What's your reaction to these latest developments?
Look, it's a really difficult time for all of the parties involved. The Sun went into this article, no doubt having, done a lot of research. They will have worked with the mother who has made these allegations to make sure that they felt comfortable that what they were reporting was as accurate, or at least, get themselves as comfortable as possible that it was accurate. And now, of course, they're hearing that the individual involved, the young person involved, may not agree with that version of events. And so it's quite a challenging time for the Sun and also for the individuals involved, of course. As for the BBC, they will carry on with their investigation, I'm sure, and will carry on following the rules that they have set out for themselves in occasions of problems such as this.
The police involvement, the police have said that there was no investigation. That's what the police said. At that point, when the police were involved, did the BBC investigation pause? The police say there's no investigation, so the BBC investigation picks up internally. Is that how it would have worked out?
That is likely because, you don't want to get in the way of a police investigation. And I think if the police had said, actually, we're going to step in here and investigate this, the internal investigation would likely have paused during that time.
Okay, so on Friday we had the first story from The Sun, and then every day we've had additions. What does this mean now for The Sun in terms of this story legally for them?
Well, as I say, The Sun will have taken steps to make sure that they were comfortable that what they were reporting was true. But there are always multiple sides to stories. We just wouldn't always expect it, the mother and the son or daughter to be on different pages as they are here. In terms of legally, if it is proven that what the Sun has reported is false in any way, then they could be liable for defamation. The BBC presenter involved could choose to sue the Sun for damages because of the damage to his reputation.
So the latest revelations come from the alleged victim's lawyer who wrote to the BBC. So will that obviously now play a part in that BBC investigation?
They will for sure consider that, and they'll be having much more extensive conversations with that person too, because they will want to understand all of the facts, understand whether the BBC presenter has done anything wrong by their description, not by the individual's description. But they will, of course, take into account the fact that it sounds like the young person has no complaint here.
Now, on the previous episode, we discussed tighter privacy laws, and this, it really would just reiterate a need for them, doesn't it? Careers, reputations, they're all at stake in a situation like this.
Yeah, it's a really difficult balance between the rights of the individual, their privacy rights, and whether they should be named and accused publicly when actually there is no police investigation, let alone a charge, versus the rights of the public to know when high-profile public figures have done wrong. So it's a really tricky balance. A couple of hours ago, many people will have been saying, we have a right to know, we should be told who this person is, it's in the public interest. But now that we've seen this letter from the alleged victim's lawyer saying, actually, there is no complaint here, nothing unlawful or inappropriate has happened, of course, people will be thinking, goodness, we were just asking for this BBC presenter to be named, but perhaps there was nothing wrong and maybe these are false allegations.
And the other side of that, obviously, is that those presenters who were wrongly named on social media, there's just been so much said on social media since this story broke. There is a risk of defaming someone if you take to social media and think it's just a free-for-all and you can say whatever you want about someone.
Yeah, there is a real risk when people make allegations like this on Twitter or other social media platforms that they could be sued for defamation. Most of the claims that we see go through our courts or, before courts in the pre-action stage relate to social media allegations. And the allegations that people have been making about a range of celebrities are serious and defamatory and could harm their reputation. And so if anyone tweets or retweets, in fact, allegations that celebrities have been up to no good, they do risk being sued, and the costs of defending such a legal claim are really high, running into the tens and hundreds of thousands of pounds.
And this update, it's an update, but it really just reiterates, doesn't it, that we really don't know much.
I think that's right. We still don't know very much about what's happened here. We have one person's version of events who we understand is the mother of the person, the young person involved. So she herself wasn't involved in this alleged wrongdoing personally. And that makes it difficult for us to understand what's going on. But no doubt the BBC will be speaking to both of the individuals at the centre of this and will be trying to unearth whether anything has actually gone wrong.
That was Matthew Gill, media lawyer, and this episode was produced by Rosie Gillett. The editor was Paul Stanway.